Real estate, and a small segment of the market where sales are surprisingly strong. You see, a growing number of Americans are preparing for the end of the world as we know it. Really, apocalypse, Armageddon, call it what you want, but they believe the end, some end, is near, and so they're preparing, buying bunker properties with high-tech amenities, 21st century fallout shelters to carry them through catastrophe. David Wright got a sneak peek.
In the middle of the Mojave Desert, the middle of nowhere, you might say, is a bland white building surrounded by a chain-link fence.
So I never would have spotted it.
Yeah, it's pretty stealthy.
But beneath this very spot is a secret hideout built with the end of the world in mind.
Would you like to step into my bunker?
Deep underground, beneath the California desert, behind a big blue door marked caution.
Let's go ahead and try the door.
Whoa,
It's 3,000 pounds.
it's like a bank vault.
Yeah.
This structure dates back to the Cold War. The vintage equipment even includes a nuclear blast detector. But developer Robert Vicino is now in the process of redesigning the place as the ultimate underground shelter.
You know, it's Noah's Ark. It just happens to be underground.
Complete with a hospital, a dental clinic, and a movie theater.
We designed it after kind of a cruise ship luxury yacht, with the feeling that if you're going to be down there for as much as a year, we have to make it as comfortable as possible.
Price tag, $50,000 per adult, $25,000 per kid, first come, first served. This shelter is almost sold out. Who would pay that? Folks like Steve Kramer of San Pedro, California. In a storage locker near his home, he's already been stockpiling supplies.
This is a water purification system. This is a fishing kit, but I don't think we'll be stopping at any stores to buy fresh fish.
Right.
Have to catch our own.
Getting ready to live off the land in a worst-case scenario, like the one imagined in the recent Hollywood movie, The Road.
How many people do you think are still alive?
In the world? Not very many.
Just like the man in that chilling story, for Kramer, too, this is a father-son project.
I remember the fears that I had, you know. We didn't have a place to go under the desk. That was it. Duck and cover. That didn't seem like much protection against a nuclear blast.
Duck and cover.
In those days, the threat was very specific.
Duck and cover under the table.
And made real to every school kid across the country.
Duck and cover. Atta boy, Tony.
You thought, okay, it's going to be the Russians. You knew who you were afraid of. Now, you don't know who to be afraid of.
There are the terrorists, of course, but also the fear of complete economic collapse.
If the economy collapses, if the dollar becomes worthless, and people are scrambling for food and shelter, it's going to get ugly.
And environmental disasters, either natural or man-made.
You don't know if it's going to be some kind of a natural, cataclysmic disaster that could just, vaporize everybody, or the terrorists. We just don't know.
Plenty of people are watching world events and worrying. Some believe it all comes down to an ancient Mayan prophecy about 2012. Others are strictly Judeo-Christian, reading the signs chapter and verse.
We know about the great oil spill. I believe it is predicted in the book of Revelations.
Right now, enough people are worried for one reason or another. There's now a critical mass of customers shopping for that extra sense of security.
Come on.
A growing number of companies catering to catastrophe.
This is the survival condo, formerly known as an Atlas F intercontinental ballistic missile base.
From his office in Orlando, Florida, developer Larry Hall markets luxury condos built in a ballistic missile silo in Kansas.
A survival condo.
Think of this, instead of being a 15-story tall beachfront condominium that you're typically accustomed to thinking of, think of it as a 15-story underground nuclear hardened condo that has 9-foot thick epoxy hardened concrete walls that can withstand a nuclear strike.
For how much?
The full floors are $1,750,000 and the half floors are $900,000.
Very comfortable rooms with no view.
And it looks like you got a pool here too.
We do, and there's a wall mural that blends in with the zero-edge pool, so it's a nice tropical scene.
But remember, location, location, location. When it comes to the end of the world, that can be a tricky calculation.
If the worst comes to worst, how do you still have to get to Kansas?
We do, and there are several plans for getting there. One of them is flying, private plane. If that's not on the table, there's a driving plan. And if that doesn't work, there's even a walking plan. And
How long would that take?
28 days.
28 days on the road in a world that presumably would be like the road.
Gotta keep moving.
Or that recent bleak blockbuster, The Book of Eli.
Quit toying, Bubba!
Or that granddaddy of all apocalypse movies, Mad Max.
I think possibly anarchy is the biggest fear that I have, because if anybody that you encounter during a period of total civil unrest, I think that there's a real chance that they may try to take whatever you have. There's going to be the haves against the have-nots. So when the going gets tough, people can get ugly.
That's why Kramer decided to buy space in the Terra Vivos survival bunker in the Mojave Desert, just 150 miles from LA. Close enough to get to, remote enough to be relatively safe. And according to developer Robert Vicino, part of a survival network near every major city.
We hope to have 20 facilities done by 2012. But beyond, like I said, we're looking at doing 20 in China, 3 in Taiwan, Romania, Russia, everywhere. People are coming at us from everywhere.
Isn't it a little paranoid?
No. Do you think the government's paranoid?
Well, they're selling them though.
No, the government is building them for themselves, and they have been for a long time, and they've been feverishly building them for the last 10 years. We use the same engineers, the same architects, and we know that they're building them.
Steve Kramer doesn't see himself as paranoid.
I see myself as the ultimate Boy Scout. They said be prepared. Okay, well,
You're very prepared.
I'm very prepared.
In the Bible, people thought Noah was crazy until the flood happened. I'm David Wright for Nightline, in an undisclosed location in the Mojave Desert.